Following show may shock, disturb, and offend some viewers. The opinions, theories, and facts shared on this podcast are not widely accepted by the brainwashed masses, especially those who find dark humor offensive. Viewer discretion is advised.
Jeffrey Dahmer soaked in blood. The Unabomber blowing up. Waco, Texas, and Heaven's Gates. Aliens modified, meant from apes. JFK shot in the head by the CIA. Bigfoot and the Mothman. Son of Sam talking to dogs again. Witches, ghosts, and goblins. Mysterious noise and hauntings. Dark arts in the skull and bones. Most celebrities are probably cloned. So if you're feeling all alone, crack a beer and get stoned. I welcome you to the podcast Strange Brew. We're here to entertain you. We're here to entertain you.
It's about to get strange.
Tomcats blackout drunk in a tinfoil cape. Ranting about Jews, lizards, and Vatican rape. Billy's laughing at his own dad jokes. Being a skeptical dick, oh, here we go. While the world burns and we all go broke. Aaron's in the corner talking about Indians shitting in the streets. Chugging Jack Daniels and muttering about getting fisted in his sleep. This is Strange Brew, facts with a twist. Conspiracies, murder, and politicians fucking kids. Aliens, cults, and government lies will ruin your weekend. Open your eyes, grab a cold one, laugh at kikes and dykes, and we're all drunk and dying inside. No safe spaces, no polite news, just balls out chaos from Strange Brew. Billy says, fun fact, the moon's a dome. Tom screams, the Pope's a fucking clone. Aaron's got ghost facts to make you cry, then laughs and says that none didn't die. She fry, we don't censor shit, we just hit record. Then dive into Satanists or Ted Bundy killing a whore. You might be offended, but you'll never be bored. You came for knowledge, got trauma instead. Welcome to the show, your brain is dead. It's Strange Brew, bitch take a seat. We got facts, whiskey, and jokes about beating the meat. True crime, MK Ultra, cannibal heat. We'll say the shit that makes Jeffrey Dahmer scream. So light a joint, pour that scotch. Forget the news and watch your crotch. We're drunk, we're cursed, and totally crude. Welcome to hell. It's Strange fucking Brew.
Which I was like, is it over
Tomcat
yet?
blackout.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's okay.
You know what's scary to me, like how good like that's able to put together something.
Dude, my Red
Like, even,
Ensign
like-
Remains music is like getting
but,
a lot
like-
of attention now.
I can't help but feel like even if you put the most mundane, like terrible prompt into it, somehow it's still able to make some sort of a like catchy, like I don't know how that works or how it's
Actually,
so
I
good.
like that one, but it is like having to tell it what to do, because I had to like tell it exactly what I wanted, what kind of style, and then you go through it and see which one. I'm not gonna give away my secrets because I'm able to create some pretty epic stuff. And like in my idea, like as weird as it is, right? As strange as it is, I'm not really a fan of AI. I think like I utilize it for the show.
I'm very shocked.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
We've
very
discussed
shocked
this
because
before.
I would have thought, like I said, you would have been with the tinfoil hat and been like, no man, they want us to use AI.
Now, supposedly it's reading a conversation, so they're going to be like, this guy's clearly racist. Just kidding. But like, you know, and it's funny because like, you know, I do think there's concerning parts about it, right? And I do think that like to give all your information sketchy, all these things, but like it does help me get stuff done for the show. It's a fact, right? It can create thumbnails quicker and all those things. And it's not necessarily like I used to spend too much time creating thumbnails and getting images, and sometimes you can use it to create stuff, which I think is good at utilizing it. But even I'm like trying to justify it in my head because the music that I created that is now being viewed through like Red Ensign Remains, essentially no one else is creating this music about cultural heritage and the anti-white agenda, which, like I've said before on the show, I don't care where you come from, who you are, what your skin color is. We're all going to have to fight this battle at some point, but there clearly is an agenda, right? So I'm able to use that music to show people kind of what's going on or have them think about it. Or there's a bunch of songs I create about like Canadian culture and what it means to be Canadian, our history. And then people can consume that pretty easily. And some of them are fucking bangers, I must say. There's one called Culture of Canada. And it's just like, in a lot of them, the way I made it and created it from my idea is a lot of it sounds similar. Like a lot of, especially the one album that I just put out, This Is Our Home, it all sounds pretty similar. And it was because I wanted to do something different. And people were like, what is this? Like folk metal? And I was like, exactly. I was like, that's where I was going for it. He was creating folk metal about Canadian heritage and the stuff that's going on in Europe and all across the Western world, right? So it's like, do I utilize it to convey a message to wake more people up or get them to be more proud of their heritage? Or do I let it just not happen? I don't know.
I mean,
It's a good argument.
Yeah, like I mean, I think go for it. But it is you're definitely right about the AI. I think it is it is strangely weird. I've used it from time to time, and it scares me sometimes when it harkens back to something that I don't remember. But it's like, oh yes, well this would also help considering you're a podcaster, and I'm like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, I know.
never-
It does that with
I was
like, oh,
I never said
yeah, I know.
I was a podcaster. Or like I was using it for something. What was I using it for the other day? Like fact checking something or trying to find something like really quick, like who directed something or who done something. And then it told me, and then it was like, oh, this can be useful because you also work with a haunt attraction, blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Oh, that's weird.
oh, that's uncomfortable that you know all that. So it does make me wonder how much of like the interacting with all of us does it just keep growing its brain and been like, I know everything.
Oh, I know, right? Because they'll be like, this will be perfect for Billy and Tomcat or whatever to create a show. And I'm like, and it's because I've used it in some sense to create music about us. And like, I don't try to give it too much, but just kind of like, oh, joke about this or whatever, right? But it is, how much of it is it collecting? Like, and I made that joke because I like create heritage stuff on it. In my opinion, that's what it is. It's not, that's why I find it crazy. Before we get into this, it's almost Halloween, or it's creeping up to the spooky season. But it is
Almost
crazy
Halloween is 2 months away.
I know. Well, the time this may come out, it might be Halloween. Who knows? We have so much stuff that we build up and on the docket, and content that still hasn't been released to audio and stuff like that. So I'm like, this is definitely out in September. It's September though. That's when
I've recorded interviews, dude. Right? I was just looking before we came on, and like, I need to stop doing this. I recorded, let me see, 1, 2, 3 interviews in April around my birthday.
yeah.
That have still not come out, and I'm like, those, like, there's a writer and 2 directors, and like, I'd say that are like, where the fuck or what? Like,
I know.
And like 4 months later, he releases it.
Dude, because I was trying to like build up content for all the fans out there that are listening and having like kind of we're honest about how we kind of do the show. And because the kid was coming, I was all panicking. I need to build up a bunch of content, and I recorded with Ryan Gable for the second time. A lot of people like that interview, and that's just got released like, I don't know, 3 months later. On a video, and it's still not out of audio. Or like I did a cultural Marxist episode with Simon Elzer, I think his last name is, and or Elsler, that just got released. I did that like a couple months ago. So it is, when you're trying to like, okay, we got to build up content, it just goes in a spiral kind of, right? Because me and Billy used to record every Friday, and then it would get released, so it was kind of in the moment. But we are back. And I just was gonna say, like, it is funny. I just find it crazy. Like, out of all the things I've said over the years, or the videos I've done during COVID, when some of them went viral, or talking about politics, the most controversial thing that I've ever said is, like, according to the world, is embracing what it is to be Canadian and our heritage, and like the honest truth of like what Canada is. Like, I did that stolen land video, but because of videos have gone viral of me talking about like who built Canada, how it was forged, why it was built out of wilderness, about the pushing back against the certain like genocidal like native narrative that they try to sell, because they worked alongside with the settlers, and settlers did also work with the indigenous stuff like that people just want to like brush off. But it's funny, that's been the most controversial thing, and I'm getting like, I didn't notice because I had a video go viral on Facebook, and I had all this like a lot of support mail, but there's hate mail of some you could just tell they look like losers in their things. But even on Instagram, some foreign guy got mad at me, and he's like, and I was like, clearly you don't speak English that well, because he's like, you piece of poop. He literally called me a piece of poop, and then he after underneath said piece of shit, and he's like you're a poopins, and I was like, man, you guys do not dish out any kind of disses. He called us Euro poopins instead of Europeans, and I was like, what?
Yeah, sometimes I have a hard time just in general, like when somebody says something like mean or whatever. And it's that thing, it's like really weird where, you know, you can get 100 compliments and you're like, oh yeah, and you feel good about yourself. And then you get one asshole that says something bad about you, and then I will constantly mull that over and go, maybe that is a problem, or maybe I do have a problem with that. And I'll forget about the other 100 compliments.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten like that.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing. Like, all it will take is just like one remark, and I'll like, not that it necessarily affects my entire day or anything, but funny how, like, you know, I could have had 11 comments, 10 of them could have been positive or nice or, you know, constructive, and then one person will make fun of something I said or something we done, or why did we cover this, or, you know, it's garbage or whatever. And like, I constantly replay that in my head, and I'm like, why?
I know. I even do it with some guy on Spotify, whoever you are. Like, I appreciate you listening, but they were telling, like, they were saying, he said, lose Billy. Billy's clueless or some shit about like the Weimar Republic episode. And I was like, he's my best friend. He's not going to leave the show. He's the foundations of this show. But even that, like, it's not even me, and it bothers me, right? But because I've had videos go viral, like, you know, hundreds of thousands of views, you know, I almost like had to like stop looking at the negative ones or just delete them, because there was such an overwhelming positive ones. But those, like, say there's like 1,000 comments and like 200 are just like people being like, fuck you, racist, you're a bigot, just for like telling the truth. And that's why my favorite quotes now is, if you want to offend a smart man, tell him a lie. But if you want to offend a fucking idiot, tell them the truth. And that's what's happening, where people disregard anything, and because they watch a little TikTok video or watch something on YouTube or whatever, they think that they have intellect. Like, I have a ton of fucking books that I have to get through and read, but I actually like seek out knowledge and question things, even my own beliefs. And the people that are just stuck in that tunnel is like crazy. If white people want to assert themselves in any way or preserve their culture or stand up for themselves, you're racist. Everyone else can do it. It never gets called anything. They can literally break into your home and assault you, and they'll still be like, well, he needs to stay in the country, you know? So it's like, it's crazy. The world's gone fucking nuts, and that's why this stuff gets brought up on the show a lot. It's just, people are fucking crazy, and they want to, it just bothers me. God damn it.
I know it bothers you.
Like, Canada's fucked, dude. Like, there's so much stuff coming out every day. More and more assaults and crashes into, like, car crashes, like, kids getting fucking molested. All this, it's fucked, man. And and then you have the liberal leaders being like, we're calling for castle law, because there's so many break-ins and invasions of people breaking into someone's home, your most like private thing. It's like your most private thing, and not only can you not go on the streets now, women, especially in bigger cities, don't even want to go on the streets because there's all these like foreign men leering at them. Now you can't even like be in the place of comfort, your most like private place, because there's been so much like home invasions, and they're calling for castle law. One of the liberal leaders is like, this is not the Wild Wild West. And it's like, it's actually worse than the Wild Wild West. Men would kill someone for doing that to a kid, but you guys are just letting them free. Because they're just essentially, they get arrested, they go on bail for nothing, and they just keep going back out on the streets. Will literally catch some criminals in the same day. It's so fucked. Like, what the hell? They arrest him, and then they let him go, and then, oh, there he is again. It's like, fucked. It'll be fun. Wait till the cops are nothing but foreigners. Then what will happen? Yeah, let's get into some strange stuff. And you know,
what are we actually talking about again?
The Bennington Triangle. You ever heard of it?
No, I don't.
Neither did I. The Bennington Triangle. Right, we're calling it Vanished in the Fog. It's these weird, like, I wonder if it's on a ley line, But a lot of these like weird places do pop up. Like there's the Bermuda Triangle, obviously one of the more famous ones, but then there's what's the Florida one? That's gonna bug me. There's a Florida one that me and Juan covered way back in the day. And it's the same kind of idea. It just seems like, and there's probably one in Ireland. This is a weird focused area within a woods where all this weird shit happens.
Well, yeah, well, we have the Vanishing Triangle in Ireland. Didn't we cover that a few years ago?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Where all
Actually, we did.
The women went missing over
Yeah.
like 15-year period or whatever.
Why is that's gonna bug me? I'm gonna look it up. Florida Weird Triangle.
Yeah, I'd
What is
never
that
heard of this. I'm just looking up here. It's
Bermuda Triangle. Why is there? Okay, it needs to be Florida. I guess it's off the coast. That's gonna bug. What the hell, man? Maybe it's called something else. Anyway, someone's gonna in the chat or something.
Ooh,
so
I
like,
didn't
"It's
know this
this."
had something to do with a cryptid or potentially.
Oh yeah, this is really weird. There's some weird stuff to do with this. The Bennington Triangle. It's a strange one, let's say. So let's get into it. We are like, as soon as it's like September, it's like Halloween, right? Like they already opened up the Spirit of Halloween like in the end of August, and I'm like, oh, I want to go there.
I want nothing more than to have Spirit Halloween here. I swear to God, dude, I can't even access Spirit Halloween's website from Ireland.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm living in North Korea.
Oh
That's
yeah,
fine.
don't worry. We can't.
I don't
look
know
at,
why
we
my
can't see
camera
names.
keeps doing that, where it's like
Yeah,
it looks like the
I
lights
noticed
behind me are
that.
flashing.
yeah. Is it not flashing?
No,
It's a ghost.
I don't know. what
Speaking
that's
of
about.
ghosts, our house is fucking haunted, man. Can I tell you something creepy that's been happening?
Go for it.
So like I haven't said this on the show yet. This is a couple weeks ago. We have like one of those egg lights for the baby, and you hold it and it gets brighter or like duller, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Chelsea was like she was gonna go to sleep to one night, and when she opened her eyes, she saw it go full bright, and then that same night, I was having this weird sensation of falling when I was like sleeping. It's almost like sleep paralysis. And then we heard 5 knocks at 1:30 a.m. And I got up and I was like, what the fuck? Like it sounded like maybe next door or whatever. It was really weird. Or the door. So I got up and then after being like, what the fuck? And then so I went to the window that's like above the main door and I can like hear outside. And it just was dead quiet. And I just like, like even if it is nothing or, maybe it was a neighbor or something like that, that like chill that goes down your spine when you're like, what the fuck? What do I have to do something? Or like, and then recently on the camera, like she's in her bassinet and Chelsea has seen it like moving and she heard a little girl laugh. That like, and then looked and she was dead asleep. Like, and I'm like, that's fucking freak. It actually freaked me. I was thinking about it all day. I was like, what the fuck? And then we see she saw the camera moving. And then when she got up to like go check it, it stopped.
What's the movie?
It's freaky, man.
Yeah, and I don't want this to because this sounds bad considering you're telling me this is actually happening. But
Yeah.
what's the movie where she hears something on the baby monitor?
Is that
And
not?
what
Isn't
did
the
I just
Conjuring?
hear downstairs?
Is your house empty? Why did you hear something? Yeah, it was weird.
That's like every time we talk about this shit, like I start getting the chills. And all, and
I
I'm like,
know
ugh.
it was It was like, I'm just glad I didn't hear that shit. That's like some the light thing, but then the knocks I heard, and then there was a time where we're like, I thought she didn't have a soother in her mouth, and then she was laying down it, but I could have like done that and not realized it. But yeah, the weird knocks, the light like getting brighter, and then like the laugh of a little girl, like older
Insidious.
than Insidious. Oh yeah.
Remember, so Rose Byrne's character hears whispering voices through the baby monitor while she's alone in the house. The whispers become clearer and angrier and say, "I want it now." Suddenly,
Yeah,
she
that's
rushes to the
crazy.
baby's room, and there's nothing there, but a clear sense that something was. And doesn't it at some point? Then it's like it wants the baby or something like that. It
Yeah,
wants your
that
baby.
it freaked
Instantly,
me
when you
out, yeah.
told me that, like I like thinking of that shit, and I'm like, oh, that's giving me the willies.
I know. I'm like, we're like, we said, like, is it someone protecting her, or is it something more nefarious? Because they say like demons can take the form of a child to like convince people it's innocent. It was fucking freaky though.
Did you see before we move on, Matt Rife, the comedian?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of him. Just the dude that
He's
looks like the
okay.
plastic surgery kind
Yeah.
of face guy. See, he bought the Warrens museum or house.
Yeah,
or
well,
whatever.
I saw that like it's interesting that he's super into ghosts because I did see that I watched the episode where he went with Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins, and they went on some ghost hunt, and I was like, oh, he must be really into this stuff, and that's crazy. He bought the Warren house, and that
That's
guy just
fucking wild,
died
right?
after touching the doll.
And now he's listed as the protector or something, or the I can't remember what they called him. The something of the caretaker of the Annabelle doll and something artifacts or something.
That would be crazy if Matt Rife just like died of mysterious
How
circumstances.
wild would that be?
Because that guy supposedly died of a heart attack like a day after he touched the Annabelle doll or whatever. He's like wearing gloves and shit, like it's not going to affect him.
Do you know what I'd love to do actually on the topic of all this? I
Yeah.
would love if we were able to, probably never going to happen, like, but if we were able to just like travel for a couple of weeks
Yeah, I would love that
to like
too.
go to different places like that and like record videos.
We could
of
do
us,
that
like,
if we get more
experiencing
support,
freaky
if we
shit.
can live off the show one day. Like, I don't know, crazier things have happened. You know, I think there's way worse shows that are like, how are you so successful? Maybe it's because they're not as offensive, but you know, most of this, all of it actually is to not be taken seriously, and this is just a comedy podcast. Remember that. It's just theory, speculation, comedy, questioning things. You know, that's all it ever is, all it will ever be. So just,
Haha.
haha, get on your thinking noggin. It's the dead of fall in Vermont. Maybe I get some creepy music going.
Nope.
Well, that's not.
That's not it.
Dude. It's the dead of fall in Vermont. The leaves crunch underneath your boots. The air is cold and still. You're hiking alone just a few miles from a town, and then silence. Your footsteps vanish. Your scent fades, and you are never seen again. This is the Bennington Triangle, a place where people don't just go missing. They're erased, just like white people will be in 100 years. From 1945 to 1950, 5 people vanished without a trace. No bodies, no clues, no missing no explanations. What the hell is happening in Gattonsbury Mountain? Join us as we dig into the missing persons, cursed land, Bigfoot sightings, time rips, military tunnels, and something beneath the ancient soil. Something ancient is beneath the soil, maybe. Yeah. It's really weird.
Something like that.
I just picture a guy in a top hat is giving me a tour of it, though. Oh, welcome to Bennington Triangle. Doesn't it sound fancy?
Not sure what that accent was, but okay.
Oh, welcome to Bennington.
Normally, actually, you know what? You must be doing better though, because normally, after 2 words, you go straight into Indian.
Yeah. Welcome to the Bennington Triangle.
Is generally how it ends up happening.
The Bennington Triangle isn't officially marked on any map, but it's in the center around Gattonsbury Mountain, a wild remote in southern western Vermont surrounded by towns of Bennington, Woodford, Staffberry, and Somerset, and now an abandoned town of Gattonsbury itself. Yeah, you can't tell that a bunch of English people... is this in America? Am I wrong? Vermont, yeah. Southwest Vermont, that's America. America. It's just funny, you can just tell that, like, of course, European settlers said, like, just the names, it's just like, I had a Woodford back home. We should call it Woodford. You know, it's just like, Staffsbury. It's like, that's my old little town. Here's my, you know, that's literally what they did. And it's all over. It's in Canada too, right? Where it's just like, here, this is London now. London town, you know.
Yeah, dude, you've got to work on that English accent, because it's like some words are really good, and then some of them are like accents that I've never heard.
Ah, Bennington. So you Paddington Bear. So it's pretty like, it's in the middle of nowhere, really. Albany, New York, Connecticut. It's right in the middle. New Hampshire, Massachusetts. I heard fans way back in the day hate how I say Massachusetts. Massive two shits. So Gattonsbury was once a logging town. After the industry collapsed, the town it collapsed, and now it is a ghost settlement with 0 permanent residents. While I read this, do you want to look up Gattonsbury and just see if we can see what the town looks like now? Because I didn't see any images of that. But Bennington, 41 mile, Gattonsbury. Glastonbury. Maybe I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
Glastonbury is that?
Glastonbury.
That's how I would pronounce it. So there's a big festival in the UK every year called the Glastonbury Festival.
Oh, so they just took the same name and when they settled there, yeah.
Yeah, it must be.
Glastonbury. Okay, find that logging town. And now it's a ghost settlement with 0 permanent residents. The Long Trail, per popular Appalachian hiking route, runs through the region and is precisely where some high-profile vanishings occurred. Native American legends claim Glastonbury Mountain was cursed. The Algonquin tribes avoided the summit entirely, saying it was the place where the earth opened up and swallowed people whole. That would be weird as hell, though, if, like, the natives, quote-unquote, did have some sort of, like, they have all these folklores of things they would avoid and do, and some of these were stories of, like, warnings for their children and stuff, and now don't go out there kind of thing, right? But it would be crazy if, like, for all we know, some tribe just disappeared, right? Because there was hundreds and hundreds of different tribes in North America, constantly usually warring with each other and then, you know, being nomadic and going from place to place, so you can't really steal land from people that had no concept of ownership. But, like, they did have crazy stories of, like, you know, ghosts and, like, the, what's that crazy one that you want to talk about? The one that, like, turns into a cannibal. It eats people. It looks like a deer kind of thing. I can't think of this right now. You know what I'm talking about? God damn it. I never get high before this. I smoked a little joint before this.
The thing.
The cryptid. The cryptid that, like, eats and cannibalizes people. The Wendigo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that whole tale, because it was passed supposedly on stories because there was native tribes that were eating each other, cannibalizing each other, and they were going mad from eating some of the meat raw. And then essentially the people believe, if it's not like a real cryptid, if it doesn't really exist, it's because this madness got to them and they, like, warded off with these stories, you know?
Yeah.
What, you think that it's a real thing? You think that there is a Wendigo?
I mean, I don't know. Part of me, it's such a weird thing to think or even want, but, like, sometimes with some of those cryptids or some of them stories, I'm like, oh, why can't this just be real?
I know, it'd be crazy, right? They believe in, like, Bigfoot and stuff. They actually had, like, and that's what people don't realize, and they want to, you know, this whole concept of some of the stuff they use for political propaganda and stuff is, like, there's literally tons of different tribes that had stories about, like, the Wagas, which were white giants when they came here across the ice bridge, or that they told over generations. Or there was the Moon-eyed people they claimed to have met like thousands of years ago, and then these stories get passed down of, like, these blue-eyed white people in North America. And then you have the carving tools that were found that predate the Siberian tribes coming here. So it's interesting once you start looking at that stuff. You're like, you know, maybe everything we're told is kind of just a lie. And then eventually we talk about Tartaria, which I think may just be used to erase certain parts of history that they don't want us to know about. But it's a weird thing, bro. Many of the disappearances, decades apart, have... Many of these disappearances, decades apart, I don't like how it paused, happened along a particular section of the trail near Hell Hollow Brook. That's a nice name. Definitely seems fitting. Between 1945 and 1950, 5 people disappeared in the same region with no evidence, no bodies, and no logical pattern. Middy Rivers, guess that's her name. Middi. I would say Middy. Medea? No, it's not Medea.
What is it?
Middi. Middy. Middy Rivers.
Yeah, I guess.
Middy
I've
Rivers.
literally never heard of that name before.
November 12th, 1945, a 74-year-old local hunting guide disappeared while leading 4 hunters through the trails through the mountains. He walked ahead. That's a weird. I thought it was a woman. He walked ahead of the group and was never seen of again. Searchers found a single rifle cartridge in the stream, likely dropped from his pockets. No other signs, no animal attack, no struggle. He simply just vanished off the face of this earth. Did you bring up images? What does the town look like? Can you see any, like, does it look
What
like a ghost
town am
town?
I looking for, though?
Glattonsbury. Say
But is it a
Glattonsbury
town?
ghost
They
town.
keep showing me a mountain.
Oh, weird. It said there was a settlement there. Yeah, I don't know. Mountain, Glattonsbury itself, now an abandoned town. It's weird. Like, here's some of, like, this is Glattonsbury Mountain. An old painting.
Like, when I look it up,
Yeah, weird.
just says... There's a thing there that says Vermont Ghost Town, Glastonbury.
Yeah, but it doesn't know images. Weird.
But it's just like there's remains of the Eagle Square sawmill, and it's just like a lot of stones.
Oh, weird. So it's definitely, like, gone. Oh, yeah, this. And
Yeah, it's like all stuff like that. There's like piles of rocks everywhere. It's like
this is where the town once stood. Wow, so many towns like that just, like, disappear off the face of this earth.
Glastonbury is a unincorporated mountainous town in Bennington County with only 8 residents. Wasn't always this small. A small charcoal making industry and a logging railroad operation were the start of Glastonbury for a brief time after the Civil War. The town included a post office, small houses, a school, and its population peaked at 241 in 1880.
Nice. It is weird that all this weird stuff obviously started to happen. Because this Paula Jean Weldon, December 1st, 1946, 18-year-old student at Bennington College, decided to hike the long trail alone in the afternoon. Wore a red coat. Seen by several witnesses, including an elderly couple walking behind her. She turned a bend into the trail and was never seen from again. Massive search, bloodhounds, helicopters, even the FBI. No scent trail. No clothes, no scent trail, no clothes, no body. A local man confessed to the murder, then recanted. No evidence was ever found. I don't understand why a guy would be like, I did it. Never mind, I didn't do it. Like, and if there's no evidence, they wouldn't even be able to charge him necessarily.
Unless he's like some loon, like remember Rustin Parr in the Blair Witch, and they find
Yeah.
all the kids went missing in the town, and then he comes into town and he's like, "Oh, I'm finally finished, thank God." And they're like, what are you talking about? And they go out to his cabin and all the kids are dead out there. And he's like, "Actually, I didn't do it. It was the witch."
Yeah. So weird. I don't know, because why would you confess something? Her disappearance triggered the creation of the Vermont State Police. Vermont. Creepy detail. One of the last people to see her alive described her as looking like lost in thought, like she didn't know where she was anymore. And it's just like causing, like there's, in those like there's places that we talked about even in Ireland or Canada that you get kind of disoriented in like the woods.
So that always scares me, and especially with and I've never been to a like any of those national parks or anything. I was like talking to somebody about this recently.
Yeah, a lot of people go missing there.
And how many people go missing and stuff. And look, I'm always fascinated by when I listen to Coast and stuff like that. And I want to believe that when you have these park rangers come on, they're like, I'm telling you, there's UFOs out there and there's cryptids and Bigfoot's real. I want to believe that, but then at the same time I'm going, is it just a case of law of averages? Now, while I will say some of those cases are bizarre, like the way people go missing or some of the stuff that happens, but sometimes as well, when I listen to Coast in particular, and those guys come on and they're like, yeah, and some of the stuff they say, they're like, it's pretty much impossible for a 75-year-old woman to go missing in the national parks in the dead of winter. That's pretty much impossible. And I'm like, is it though? I mean,
yeah, I know.
They're pretty fucking. I didn't realize when I thought national park, I thought a trail where there's always people on it and there's always park rangers everywhere.
Yeah.
not realizing that there's so many of those offshoots where you can just like disappear and walk for hours and never see another person again.
I know you want to cover this, but eventually when we do like the missing 411, you have like the map that overlays like all the national parks, and there's like all these cave systems. So God knows, maybe
Now,
they're being
I
fed to the
want that to be
reptilians.
real in a way.
Yeah.
Like, I do want that to be real. I want to believe that Bigfoot's out there. I want to believe there's all these caves and caverns and tunnels underneath them, and they all connect, and there's this big conspiracy. But, like, I will say there's probably a lot of them you could explain away by going, well, you know, you went into
Jews
national
made them.
park and you thought, like, and look, I'd probably be one of those dumbasses where I'd be like, nah, you know, I'll be fine in the wilderness, even though I have no experience. I'll figure it out.
Bigfoot stumbles across the one in Brooklyn. He's like, what the fuck? You know, he's like seeing all the mattresses and the high chairs. He's like, I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. So fun. Like, and that stuff is scary. Like, imagine, like, and I've heard, like, stories about, like, homeless people going missing, and then maybe the government is using their organs to sell in the black market, and like people will like have claimed that are homeless that they've seen people like snatched off the streets, or they were there like a couple hours beforehand, and then all of their stuff is gone, and they maybe know them pretty well, and that stuff is just weird. One guy claimed that his friend was going in a national park, I think the Central Park in New York, and there was like this there, he's like, and he showed this weird entrance to this cave. And he's like, I don't want to go in there, but I heard screaming. And I was like, that's scary, dude.
Yeah, I again, like, there's, I don't know if I would like to cover this as well, but I feel like it's kind of been done a little bit. Have you ever heard of a guy called Kenny Veach
No.
and the M Cave?
No.
No? So it was a YouTuber. Let me just get you really quick before we get off this topic.
Yeah, this stuff is just creepy. Like, I do find like some of the cavern systems and like the national parks and like it does. I was gonna say it does remind me of movies like, you know, The Ritual, and it's just like
Yep.
they're gone, they're lost, they can't. And then you come upon that creepy house. That shit is like one of the. If you guys have not seen The Ritual, definitely worth watching. And then you can listen to our episode or watch it on Class Horrorcast, because that's
The
a
book is amazing as well, actually.
freaky
I read the
movie,
book
dude.
recently. The book
That
is
movie
amazing.
scared me. Scary.
Okay, so the strange disappearance of Kenny Veach and the M Cave. Kenny Veach was a 47-year-old seasoned hiker, solo adventurer, and YouTuber from Nevada. He posted under the name Snakebit McGee and was known for venturing alone into harsh desert terrain near the Nellis Air Force Base and Area 51. The viral comment that started it all. In 2014, Kenny left a comment on a video about strange desert discoveries. His comment said, "One time during one of my hikes out by Nellis Air Force Base, I found a hidden cave. The entrance to the cave was shaped nearly like the perfect capital M. As I approached it, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got, the worse it got. My body was vibrating so badly, I became scared and had to turn and walk away. That was one of the strangest things that ever happened to me." Naturally, the internet latched onto this and they demanded that Kenny go back and get proof. So he agreed.
Yeah.
On November
idea.
2014, Kenny uploaded a video titled M Cave Hike. He returns to the same desert area to try and find the M Cave, filming as he hikes miles across rough terrain. He narrates, jokes, and seems confident, but he doesn't find the cave this time, only a strange abandoned mineshaft. He promises to return again for a better search. This would be his last upload. On November 10th, 2014, he told his girlfriend he was going back out alone to find the cave again. Kenny was never seen again. A few days later, search teams found his phone near an abandoned mineshaft, the same one from his last video, but no sign of Kenny. No body, no clue, just gone.
Yo, that's fucking weird, dude.
And there is, like, we could do a whole episode. There's like so many different theories. His girlfriend came out afterwards, and like, this is all still on YouTube. You can still see his channel. You can go and search and see people made videos about his disappearance, and then she put these like huge comments explaining all about like stuff that went on and
That's
things like
scary
that.
stuff.
Dude, like, gives me the chills every time I go back and see it. I'm like, ugh.
Imagine, and this is like it's like how movies are, like the Bell Witch Cave, like these people that go around these areas and then they just disappear, and it's like, where do they go? Are they kidnapped by someone or something, or
But,
did
like-
they just get lost? But why would you not take your phone with you?
But
is the
imagine how
weirdest thing.
wild that would be, right? Like, let's just say, for example, me and you were having a conversation about something like this, and I said to you, "Oh, you know, I'm gonna go tomorrow. Now I'm like going an hour from where I live, and I'm gonna hike out into a place, and I'm gonna take video and try and find this creepy cave I found." And let's just say I disappear. Imagine you getting that news of like, "Oh yeah, you know, Aaron's gone. Like he's a missing person. He's gone." And then you're
That'd be
like, "But he
fucking
said he was looking
weird.
for a cave." And that's like a mad coincidence that like you go looking for something like that and then disappear, and like everything belonging to you is just gone. You're gone. They can't track your phone. Everything's just gone.
I would make it my life's mission to find you. I would just go to Ireland and then try to find.
I
the
don't
cave,
think
and
yeah,
then
I don't think I could
disappear
leave
too.
it alone. Like I
No.
genuinely don't think I could leave it alone.
Yeah, if Billy or you just disappeared out of nowhere and like it was in some weird forest or cave, I would be like, I'm putting an end to this. I'm gonna find it. But I'll be like, I'll finally save up enough money because Canada's so expensive. I'll save up enough money and then I'll be like 65 and I'll just find your like bones in a fucking ditch somewhere. Like, this has to be Aaron. I can brush off your shirt. It says CHC.
Yeah, it is this.
Yeah,
The bad oversized trucker hat.
yeah. I'm like, this is definitely him. It's just like 3 steps from your house, just in the back of a field or something. So James E. Tedford, that's a name. A World War II veteran. A World War II veteran and resident at local soldiers' home. He took a bus home from St. Albans to Bennington, seen by 14 passengers on the bus before the final stop. When the bus arrived, he was gone. His ticket was still in the seat, as were his luggage and his timetable. The bus never stopped. The driver confirmed it. Tedford just vanished from a moving vehicle. That is really weird. This happened exactly 3 years to the day after Pauline Jean disappeared. The last woman, the 18-year-old student. Is that not weird? Pretty creepy, man.
That's scary stuff.
That's some scary stuff.
That's scary stuff.
Now we have Paul Jepson, 8-year-old boy, son of local dump caretaker. Oh, he's a trash man. Last seen playing near his family's truck when his mother tended to her pigs. She was gone less than an hour. Gone without a trace, bloodhounds picked up a trail which ended up abruptly at the same trailhead where Paula Jean was last seen. No remains, no witnesses. Isn't that weird? 8-year-old boy. That Paula chick, 18, she goes missing. That veteran goes missing. This 8-year-old boy goes missing. Son of a local dump caretaker. So he just worked at the dump. He's the trash. Oh, do I have my trash man? Oh, that'd be so good. I might got rid of it. I'm a trash man. I throw trash around the ring. So funny.
Come on, let's not eat garbage.
That shit's so funny. There's like new seasons. I miss keeping up with it because that show is like so funny.
Please let me have it.
I took it off trying to add all this longer
that one
stuff.
never failed to work on me.
Oh, it's so sad. Of course I took it off, but I was like, oh, the garbage man is so funny. It still makes you laugh. So here's a chilling quote from the mother.
Can I have that sound?
Fuck.
Please send that to me.
He'd been talking about the mountain all week, like he was drawn to it. You're still up. Bro. It is a fucking hilarious sound.
Fuck.
It's just funny because in context, he was literally, we thought he was passed out and he was just on the couch with a fucking, I think like a hat over his face. And we were just like,
Oh shit, man! That will never cease to make me laugh. Only ever.
just makes you laugh because as we're recording it, Justin's like, I think Billy died because he just yells.
I'm actually crying. Like,
It was so funny. It's such a weird thing that happened. It's stuck in my memory because I remember exactly where and when it happened. Before
why
it
is that
just off
hanging?
the
I
show.
keep hearing. That's like, I'm gonna have to like bring the camera downstairs, like found footage.
Yeah, then you're gonna get kidnapped by Bigfoot. So Frida Langer, 50-year-old, she was 53 years old, hiking with her cousin near the Somerset Reservoir. She slipped in the stream. Told him she was going to change and catch back up. Okay, so never to return. So it's obviously she's maybe with her husband and with a friend. Oh, with her cousin. I gotta read over what I'm reading. It was her cousin, and she was there at the reservoir. She slipped in the stream. I'm like, I'm gonna go change really quickly. Obviously, they were close enough, and then she would catch up, and she never did. She never returned. Only body to ever be found 7 months later in an area already heavily searched. Cause of death unknown due to decomposition, so they don't even know because her body was rotten. No one knows how her body appeared in a cleared area weeks after the team had already gone through it. That is weird. And like, was she murdered by somebody and then her body was just put there? Very strange, man. It is weird, dude. Like that's weird.
Again, like, I don't know, like how much do you believe in coincidence and stuff?
I thought you were gonna like this picture because it's like it says it's one of those like top fives. Number 5. We have the
Number 5, the haunting of the Gettysburg Mountain or whatever it's called.
Gladysburg.
I love there's, I must send it to you actually, but there's a guy from my town. I think I mentioned before, Chris O'Neill is his name, but he has a really big YouTube channel called Only Plays, or Only NG was his thing. So he was on Newgrounds that used to do all those like internet cartoons and stuff, and they had stuff for
yes.
They also they do stuff for Adult Swim now.
Yeah, which is so weird.
He has a really good friend that's always on his like. So basically, they play through old games like Hercules on the PS1, and they all just sit around and just like, it's like a podcast, but they're just like playing a game at the same time. And there's a guy that he, like one of his good friends, Zach Hale, and he has a show I think on Adult Swim called Smiling Friends or something like that. And but every time, like every so often, they'd like reference other stuff on the internet, and they always used to reference that guy Chills or whatever he's called, or Top 5. And like there's actually a compilation of them throughout like 3 or 4 years of podcasts where it's just like random times someone starts going like number 5 and like they're making fun of it, dude.
Too, yeah.
So much so, right, that it went full circle. One of the more recent episodes of Smiling Friends, they had a character walk into a fast food place, and you know the way, I don't know if it's, I assume it's the same in Canada. We don't have it here, but like, you know the way you say like, oh, can I get like a number 2 large or whatever? We don't have that here. You just say like, can I get the Big Mac with fries and whatever? And
it's like, can I have the number 3 meal or whatever?
Yeah. So like this guy walks in and he's like, can I get the number 5? And he keeps saying it over and over again, and then it cuts off. Little did I know that they actually got the guy from the Top 5 channel to voice that dude.
That's hilarious.
And he commented under the episode on YouTube, and he was like, this is the highlight of my entire career.
That's number 5.
Dude, you know he has like fucking like millions upon millions upon millions.
Dude, people like that stuff. I used to lay in bed, you know, like my algorithm's fucked now. I don't even want to look at my phone because it's all like, oh, the fucking world's burning alive and there's fucking, yeah, it's terrible. So many people coming into your country. But like, I used to sit up at night and like watch those like videos where it's like top 10 creepiest videos.
Wait, I'm literally going to look at something right now really quick while you're talking. And
yeah,
this is going to be kind of wild if this actually, I don't know if I'm misremembering something, but I could have swore, yes, when I woke up this morning, like super early, like 6 a.m. or something, I was like delirious in bed. I must have hit something on my phone, and it was fucking him, I think. Is his channel called Top 5 Unknowns?
Something like that.
Or is
maybe.
that one of his
Yeah,
channels, or is
probably.
that just another guy who sounds
Top
exactly
5
like him?
unknowns.
A staggering number of people remain missing, despite the efforts of their families,
Is that him?
volunteers, and the authorities
I gotta
to
hear him
track
say
them
it.
down. While some missing person cases are relatively new, others have. Number 10.
No, it's not him.
No.
Can't be.
So that must be
Number
another guy
10.
then. That's another channel called Top 5 Unknowns who's basically trying to do the same thing, and he has 2.6 million followers.
It could be AI. There's one of those channels where it's an AI doing it.
AI.
Number 5. So dumb. Fucking pisses me off. I want to throw those people off a cliff. But I used to watch this because they would used to get like, these are the top videos that people caught of creepy leprechauns. Number 9. And then it's just like this
The
weird
guys
video.
actually make fun of that, where they're like, they're like, I watch them all the time, and I don't know why I watch them, but we're like, it's actually getting ridiculous now. Like, one of them was like, check out this video that this lady caught beside her car. There is some sort of creature or animal. It could be real or it could be fake. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? And they were like, he's literally just clutching at straws now. He's just saying anything and just taking any video and being like, it's a monster.
Number 150. Another Indian shits in the street.
Could be an Indian, could be something else.
yeah. Maybe it's an Indian. We don't know. It's so funny. So
Let me know in the comments.
let me know in the comments. Bloody hell, fuck you. So what the hell is going on? These aren't just woods stories. These are real people, all missing under nearly identical circumstances. In the same can't talk now. Number 5. In the same geographic triangle. Theories are abundant, but none have solved it. Now we got theory 1. A shadowy backwoods serial killer stalking hikers doesn't explain James Tedford vanishing from a moving bus, which is fucking crazy. Or no remains in 4 or 5 of the cases. No pattern of victims ages 8 to 73, male and female. Well, good old Richard Ramirez didn't care, right? He just got whatever he got. Usually the defenseless. But maybe a serial killer. We'll discuss what you maybe think it is at the end. We'll go through them first. So that's one of them. Theory number 2. Bigfoot or cryptid activity. Some local reports a Bigfoot-like creature, tall, hairy, human-like, stalking the woods. Linked to the Bennington monster, which I guess we could cover in its own thing. I didn't know that there was a monster. Describes as 8-foot-tall, red-eyed humanoid. I don't know how I could get that word out. Humanoid. Strange animal mutilations, missing dogs, terrified hunters refusing to return to the region. That would be weird, guys. Like, me and Billy Bob went out there the other day, and it's like this weird creature. I just can't go back there.
That was actually pretty good.
Like, who knows if it's some creature? It is really weird though. And I don't know. Maybe there is something out there, right? Now we got this one's weird. There's time slips too. Theory number 3. Paranormal researchers theorize thin spots at Glastonbury Mountain, areas where time and space distorts. Native legends of mountains opening up and swallowing people seems eerily close to a portal theory. Some say the victims may have walked into another dimension or time itself, which is really weird too. What's that movie that M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's sister did? Or daughter, not sister. Watchers, and they get lost in the woods and they're in that whatever that house is. It's just like a weird thing. Like, what if there is this layer in between dimensions in certain places in the world that we're just not aware of, and they can't scientifically prove it's there or not, but you almost go through what may be a portal, or there's just some frequency Like, it'd be crazy. Like, I've heard stories, I've read paranormal books about stuff like this, of people like going to a town and then the town disappears. Or I've told one where I specifically remember the one book I was reading of these people that go to this bar and there's a bunch of people at the bar. They get a drink there. Everyone's just kind of like, it just sounds like people talking, but nobody seems to be really talking. Like, they don't see anyone's mouth moving. The bartender gives them a drink and they just kind of talk amongst themselves. The bartender doesn't say much. They just give them a tip and they leave. And then they go back to that bar the next day and nobody was there. Because they're like, oh, wow, this bar's open at like 1:30. And they're like, we close at like 10. And they went back and then they saw a picture on the wall. And it was like almost like The Shining, where it was like all the people that they saw, which would be creepy. And there's a good paranormal book that, and like these little time slips, it could be possible, because that would be scary, dude. Or like they go into
possible, or it could not be possible.
Is it possible? Because like, imagine that you step into maybe a different time era. Like you go through this portal thing, you walk out of the woods, you're like, oh fuck, like Jesus, I almost got lost. And then you're like, some guy in a buggy rides by. He's like, do you need a ride to climb this mountain, right? And you're like, what the fuck? You know?
Blah.
Blah. Yeah. God.
It works too.
It's weird. I think about those often. I remember reading that book at the cottage and like in that creepy environment of this old cottage, and it always like stuck with me. Old rumors persist of an abandoned military tunnels in the area. Some linked to radar testing, others to earlier nuclear experiments. Glattonsbury is remote and inaccessible and has a history of sudden trail closures and restricted areas. Some claim that there is DUMBs, deep underground military bases beneath the mountains, and that some victims saw something they shouldn't have. And that was number 4.
You're actually, as you went through the sentence there, you were starting to talk more like military tunnel.
I was gonna do that for the rest of the night. Maybe that we'll discuss that at the end. We'll just get through all of these. So obviously then there's theory number 5. The land is cursed. Indigenous stories tell of spirits guarding the mountain, punishing those who disrespect it. Although all the disappearances happened in the fall or early winter, the dying time of the earth. Some say the forest feeds on those who wander too far alone. That was number 5, which it was. Okay, and there's like weird things like compasses often stop working on the Glattonsbury Mountain. Local reports of phantom voices. What is the phantom voices saying, Aaron? You gotta be quick on these. On these.
Fuck, I can't find it.
You can't. Number 5, phantom voices.
No, I was
Whispers in trees.
trying to find one of those weird voice yokes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do your demon voice. Phantom voices.
This phantom voice.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm the red hair. I'm the ginger Bigfoot. I'm Big Fuck.
I fucked her. I found her in the woods and I fucked her. Ginger Bigfoot.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
That's my favorite movie in the world. Let's see what happens on. What did you bring up?
This is my red-haired Bigfoot-like creature that is a serial killer that can distort space and time in the Glastonbury Mountain.
That's hilarious.
That's what I came up with.
Kind of looks
It
scary,
literally
man.
gave me that exact description.
That's actually pretty frightening, man. I don't know if I would want to mess with him. He actually looks kind of scarier than Bigfoot.
It's like the first question I had though was like, why does he need a knife?
Because
I know it's probably because I said a serial killer, but it's like,
Yeah.
don't think he needs a knife.
So there's whispering in the trees.
Well, I would I'd shit my pants.
Shadowy figures watching from the ridge lines. That's weird. Dogs go missing frequently. Some return days later. Others are never seen of again. UFO sightings peaked in the late 1950s and 60s. Paranormal investigators report feeling of dread, nausea, and sudden panic while hiking alone, often in the same area as Paula or Paul and Paul vanished. What do you think? Is it a military experiment? Is it like time slips, a portal? Is it a cryptid? Is it a serial killer? What do you think? I want Aaron's opinion, and at home, you can tell us in the comments. What do you think it was?
I actually don't know. I want
What
to
are you
believe it's
looking
something
at?
like some weird Bigfoot. Check this out. Did you think the Chills would look like that?
Oh, he looks like a douche. Is that his
I
name?
did not-
Chills?
I didn't expect him to look like that though.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a douchey boy, though.
I don't know. Do you think though? Do you think that the voice matches the face? Let me know in the comments.
Not really. Look up Froggy Fresh. I am the baddest of them all. Do you know who Froggy Fresh is? He looks like him, kind of. You don't know who Froggy Fresh is?
It sounds crazy familiar, but
Put on YouTube
oh,
and
yeah.
click on YouTube and click on I am the baddest. Just do it for me. This is almost over, and I'll get
the
your opinion.
baddest.
Yeah, the baddest of them all. Do you have it? Click on it. Open it up.
That's why I'm waiting for fucking
An ad, of course.
YouTube. Yeah, of course it is. It's an ad for Borderlands, the Glory
course.
Pack.
So what do you think it is before we get into the I am the baddest? Pause it and then let me know.
I am not sure what I think.
I don't know. Like, I'm almost on the board. I'm almost thinking like maybe there is some sort of time ripple. You know, full screen that. Do you guys know who Froggy Fresh is? They used to go by Krispy Kreme, but he almost got sued by Krispy Kreme. Press it.
Fresh 2012. Yeah. We back up in this. Y'all already know. Cause I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls, you know that
I am. All right, and that shit. Turn that off. The baddest of them all. Yeah, remember? You ever listen to that guy?
So would I be
My
right in
wife hates
saying
him. He's
would
playing
I
a
be right in
character.
saying that but would I be right in saying he's from probably like 10 or 12 years ago?
Oh yeah, that's video is mad old. He was making all these goofy things, and then he talked with like Tosh.0
Oh yeah,
or
it is.
whatever.
Wow, yeah, I do actually kind of vaguely. I'm gonna have to deep dive into him again now. That was
Dude, there's
12 years
there's
ago.
one song called Best Friends, and it's actually like it's fine. It's a beat that I was gonna use for a song like years beforehand, and he must have found it and used it. And it's like talking about how they kidnapped his friend Mike, and he has to go get him. And it's supposed to be like jokey. He's like in camouflage. It's just it was a satire, and then he went on Tosh.0. Everyone thought he was legitimately like retarded or whatever, and just doing this for fun. And then if come to find out, he's like a really smart guy. He also does songs like "Every President is Gay," and it's actually really
Do
funny.
you know what's? I was just looking here. This is my new favorite thing to do as well. Whenever I find something funny or anything interesting, I always look at the top comments.
Yeah.
And like I'm just looking at the comments here, and it's like justice for Froggy. The mucus slowly dripping from his nose makes the cinematic effect so much better. The recent creator clash stuff has brought me back to what is arguably one of the greatest videos on this entire hellscape of a website. Hey man, I just wanted to let you know that I worked as a producer on Beyonce's album and a sound engineer way back in 2013. And some of the guys in the studio actually played your verse for her and Jay-Z. They thought it was hilarious. You will
That's
always
so
be
crazy.
Krispy Kreme to me.
I know, that's crazy. And I think his Chris Dodo was trying to like sue him or some shit, or he couldn't use it, which is crazy. It's just remember the internet. The internet was fun.
It
before
was
it's
actually,
filled with
wasn't it? At one
idiots.
point, the internet was actually really funny.
Yes, it was a fun time, right? So what do you think? Like real thoughts. What do you think it might be? Like it could be a military experiment, or it could be both, like a portal that maybe they created. Who knows? Let me know your
Yeah, again,
thoughts.
because it's another like mountainous area, national parky kind of thing. I don't know. I always lean towards like the kind of conspiracy stuff where I'm like, is there something else going on in national parks that we don't know about?
Or are they just like disappearing people and then using them for experiments? God knows. Whoops, they disappeared in the mountains. We don't know where they went. And like,
It always reminds me as well of like we've talked about it before, like them pulling homeless people off the streets and off Skid Row and different places and like doing shit to them
weird
to
stuff.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, like testing different medications and testing weapons and stuff on them just to see what it does to the body. It always reminds me. I feel like I've mentioned this a million times this year already. Always reminds me of District 9 when the dude gets
Yeah.
infected and then they put like the alien weapons on his arms and stuff because he has like the alien DNA
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're like using him to like test the equipment or whatever. I mean, it's not really out of the realm of possibility, I don't think.
No, they literally poisoned their own people, right? Like they've done crazier things.
It's a very good way as well to be able to get away with it. I would say if you were going to do something like that, they'd be like, yeah, well, sure, they went missing in a national park. Like, I mean, what? Case closed.
Yeah. They made a bioweapon and convinced the world there was a fucking invisible threat. And then was like, so like God knows what the hell they could do, right? Essentially, right? And like we know they've poisoned the waters in like New York. They've gave people acid. The MK Ultra experiments are very real. All those things, like maybe not to the extent of some conspiracies. I think it probably could be, but there is classified documents that have been released about MK Ultra and what they've done to people. So like in even the Tuskegee experiment, right? Didn't they tell the black people there was like a cure for cancer and they just gave them fucking syphilis and they just wanted to see what would happen? Like, it's just crazy, man. The stuff that they'll do to people is
quite
nuts.
scary.
Yeah. Here's a cure for cancer. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Like even here now, I think there's a thing going on with our water, where there's like 250,000 people across Ireland have been drinking water with elevated toxin levels.
Is it from all the Indians pooping in the river?
Ireland failed to keep toxic chemicals linked to cancer out of water supply. EU court rules. Public drinking water for nearly 250,000 people in the state contain toxins above EU safety levels. Ireland has failed to protect drinking water from toxic chemicals.
You know why this stuff's happening, right? It's because nobody's manning the ship anymore. Like somebody made a good point of this idea of like the Western world, especially, and why it was built on a great civilization is because majority of it was ran and controlled by white people, right? That's a fact. Like you can't deny that, right? So even if when people came in here and they assimilated, they became part of that what used to be like a unified identity of like, hey, I came here because I want to be this. That's not happening anymore. But think about it: if somebody's manning the ship, right? And you're doing DEI hires or people that are not qualified, and they're just there for a paycheck, and God knows what they're doing on their shift, or this is happening numerous times. Like all the trucking scamming stuff that's coming out now. They've literally made I think it's up to like 80 colleges in Ontario alone that are fake colleges that are just pumping out Indian people like with fake diplomas. Like that's crazy. Like the amount of scamming, and it's like they think it's virtuous.
Here
it's happening a lot. So like, so we have all this stuff failing, and we wonder why. Like if no one's manned the ship, or nobody cares who is controlling certain aspects of, say, sanitation or anything in that regard, the building of infrastructure, and then something collapses. Like it's because of what is happening.
It's a little bit scary because it's like all the other stuff aside and whatever, like it gets quite scary to be like, should I drink tap water? No.
I know.
Okay. So I can't drink tap water.
I can't drink bottled water because there's like
I can't drink
plastic.
bottled water. So that's that done. Right. Everything else has been tainted, so I can't drink any of that. Right.
Yeah, it's like there's that guy. It's like he does a video where guys like, oh, I want to have the snack. And it's an apple, but he's like, oh, there's wax covered on it that's like poisonous. And then he goes to like the next thing, and then he researches it, and there's like seed oils in it. And then it's the next thing. And then he just ends up eating the apple because he goes through all of these other products that he researches, and they all have a poison in them already anyway. Almost like the government is actively slowly trying to kill us all across the world and don't have regard for human life. Sure seems that way. And then people are like, you know what? if I put a little mark on a piece of paper inside of a box, somehow something will change.
You know what? I don't know if you've ever seen Interstellar.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen fun fact, I never seen that before, and about a
Wow.
week ago they brought it back to the movie theater, and I
And you
went
went
to
and
see
saw
it.
it?
And the first time I ever seen it was on a big, massive like IMAX screen, and it was like one of the best experiences I think I've ever had watching a movie because I had no idea what it was. I knew it was something to do with space.
Yeah,
I was like, I have no idea what this is going to be about. I don't know anything. I didn't have any of it spoiled on me. I knew nothing. And like the amount of times where I got goosebumps throughout that, where I left in a bit of, and I'm still kind of reeling from it. I'm in like that big like existential crisis where I'm like, what's the point in anything? What's the
I
point
know.
in life? But like
It
the
happens.
idea of that movie kind of seems more and more feasible now, where it's like the movie starts off, the world is pretty much fucked from what we've done to it, and everyone's like inhaling all this dust and all these gases, and everyone's fucked. And it's like, well, I guess it's time to bail out. We need to find like another planet or something, or see
Which
like
is
what we
crazy.
can
We
do to
destroy
like get
this
out
one.
of here.
And then, yeah. It's just crazy because there's that argument of how much money we spend going to space when we should be fixing the planet. Like you gotta be kidding me that they like we overall, right? This is something that should scare more people in regard to some of this stuff. But like Africa's population since the 1900s has grown 900%. And that's a crazy number. And since the 60s, the Western world specifically has given them $4 trillion. It still looks like a third world. They have the money and
How
capability.
is that though?
People are like, it's not meaning to be racist. People are going to take this, but it's because people steal it, right? They siphon it off. They use it. Oh, we're putting it towards foreign aid, and then it goes back in all the rich oligarchs' pockets because that's who's really controlling things. And then obviously, clearly using these people as weapons because they could have developed that world into more of a progressive style. I don't know how well that would have gone. People could argue that probably would never happen because they're not building anything. But like that's a crazy thing. It's like we have enough money to feed the entire world, no doubt in my mind. There's places like Africa that have enough vegetation and food growth in some places where you could probably feed the entire world. But somehow politicians and rich bankers need to like fly around on planes, all that shit that's going on. It's so crazy. Like how are politicians coming out of politics a millionaire? Right? That's just a crazy, for people that don't understand it, like all of the politicians are richer than they've ever been ever. And they're all richer as we're more poor, and they can have like Bugattis and Maseratis and like Lamborghinis and Corvette, all these expensive cars to drive to work where they just play pretend. Like it is crazy with the people that don't get that politics is fucking fake. Like they were paying so much money. Our standard of living is going down. They're bringing in people that's bringing the standard of living down. That's why they're doing it to make us all equally poor, so they can enslave us through communism. But like, that's crazy. Like, how do you go into politics and you come out of a millionaire unless you're rigging the entire system? Any of them, right? I've always said they all have more in common with each other than they do with the people, like the common people, as Pierre said here. I'm like the common people. It's
Not to completely derail this, right? Is
so
random,
retarded.
but
I'm just saying.
where do you think it ends up in our lifetime? Like by
I
the
don't know,
time,
man.
let's say we live to be, I don't know, 70, 80 years of age. So let's say another 50 years. Where do you actually like think the world
If
will
people
be?
do not rise up and we don't do anything, I do think it will go to a place of total surveillance and control, where we'll be living like side by, like the thing about this in Ottawa, they want to, if say you have an empty room in your house, they want to tax you for that empty room. And then they want you to give up your information to these auditors or whatever, the people that go around and figure out how many people are living in the country, even though there's millions of people that are illegal or whatever. And then it will come to a point where maybe you'll be forced to house immigrants within your bedroom because you have enough room. But you don't see any of the politicians doing that. Now the politicians are going to house people in their mansions that they've acquired, like all these career politicians that fucking literally do nothing but play pretend and fake. It's political theater, right? So I do think if people don't rise up and realize their power now, we will be the last generation, especially in the Western world, to stand up for our culture and our people and our children, or it will be gone forever. And then, by the time we're 50, we're going to be like, we should have done something, or we're 60 or 80. And some of these older generations now, like, I don't like to harp on the boomers too much, but they kind of caused all this shit, living in comfort, and then be like, oh, you got to work hard and pull your bootstraps up, even though the purchasing power was 100 times almost, well, it's like at least 10 times what it was back then or whatever, right? And they were living in comfort, not really aware of what was going on. And now we are where we are, right? So think about this. If they roll out this technology, they're building uranium mines, supposedly in Nova Scotia, where everything's burning down, and specifically in Saskatchewan, where there is uranium there. And supposedly people believe that they need it to develop more of this AI technology for like total control, which is fucked. Burning everything around, and bringing everybody to the smart cities. That's how I feel like we're going if we don't do anything. Spooky.
Yeah, it's quite uncomfortable, actually.
I know. Well, that's why I'm like, it's hard. Once you know this stuff and where it could go, that's why we'd like to sometimes talk about some fun things like this haunting disappearance. But it makes you think of like the military experiments and stuff like that, and what the government is capable of doing. They massacre people within warfare or whatever might it be for their own financial gain. Why don't you think they'd care about a couple people going missing so they could experiment on them?
Yeah. It's grim. I don't know. It's hard to know what's. I don't even know why I asked that question, because it's quite like. It's not that I was expecting like a nice answer, but when I actually think about it, I'm like, ooh, that's fucking pretty grim.
Or on a flip side, people band together, realize the power that they have, especially within the Western world. If we can make our own countries great, maybe we can help other people out. But obviously, is an intellectual capability of why. Like, it's just, you can't blame everything on, oh, well, they did this or they did that or whatever it might be. It's this, like, I can get into a bunch of stuff about that, but like, or we take back our countries and we look forward towards preserving our future for our children. And we try at least to get people at the helm of power that actually care for human beings. Obviously, sick oligarchs and crazy weirdos that have connections to like Epstein and probably very dark things that most people don't want to think about. They don't want to imagine. The average person doesn't want to admit or think that these things are possible, that they would make people disappear, right? And then do experiments on them. But they would, and they have, and they will do it again, right? So I'm like, I don't know what's going to take the shift, or, I lose faith in this all the time. When I was younger, I always thought aliens would maybe show up. Maybe if we get too far, they'll be like, okay, we need to stop you from just destroying the planet and each other.
I hope they come down and they come looking for people like us. They're like, you believed in us all along. You can come to our planet. Join us.
I know. And it's all happily ever after. I doubt. I always think that like people are like, Christ, all the videos I've done and gone viral, and people are like, speaking about how bad it could get or whatever. People are like, but Christ is coming. Put your faith in Christ. I'm like, that's just an excuse at the end of the day for you not to do anything, because you think I'm not saying he's totally fictional, but some sort of man from the clouds is going to save you, the same as like aliens would. And if it is true that we are here to change things ourselves, I always believe that whole idea of Christ coming back might be through the Christ consciousness, is like people accepting their fate and realizing what needs to be done, right? I have so many different polarized thoughts, I guess you could say, about all of this stuff, right? Maybe the division is it's obviously being done on purpose, and maybe I should learn to love everybody, but then I see the way that they treat others, treat my country, treat anything, right? I'm like, no, never mind. Like, obviously you should be here because you can't adapt or assimilate or behave or not be a criminal coming into you know what I mean? So there's all these like nuanced thoughts I have about, like, because I've done so much research in this stuff, and like, what is this all going to come to, On camera, we just both disappear, and they're just gone.
It's just left. It just stays recording for ages,
for like hours. We just fade out like in some
Eventually, Chelsea comes up onto the thing, and she's like looking at it, and then the screen fades to black, and it's like, Tom and Aaron disappeared on 12:09.
Scary, dude.
On September 2nd. Blah blah. They were never seen again.
Okay, I'm gonna find some creepy episodes for us to do. I have a couple ready to go, but I'm like, I want to get in this Halloween season. I want to be spooky. I'm kind of decided on what we could do for the special that Aaron has to be there for. I'm gonna fucking murder him. But like, you know, I want to do some fun stuff for Halloween. I want to get in the vibe of it, and then maybe, you know, I'm gonna try to not go in some of these tangents about the way the world is, and try to have some enjoyable content. I know people do appreciate when we do talk about this stuff. It's some of our most popular episodes. It's some of that more controversial, like, hey, this is pretty crazy what's going on and stuff. But I want to have fun with the show too, so I have a lot of ideas. So what is happening in Glastonbury Mountain? Glastonbury Mountain. I always mispronounce it. It is fine. Is it something ancient, something buried, or something watching from the trees? 5 souls disappeared in 5 years. Some say the mountain keeps them. Others say it's a doorway to something worse. I was like, I keep going to different accents. If you're ever hiking in Vermont, stick to the path. Don't go alone. And if you hear footsteps behind you, don't turn around.
Don't turn around.
It might be an Indian shitting in the streets.
It could be Bigfoot. It could be a serial killer, or it could be an Indian in the street.
Who knows? I enjoyed this. It was fun. I do want to, next time for all the fans, we will try to stick more on topic. I still enjoy this stuff and kind of like, it's part of the show to go off in a little bit of a tangent about things and ponder ideas and things. But I have a lot of ideas for what we can go forward. I have tons of stuff I've been working on and getting ready for the show. So your support would really mean a lot. All the people, 5-star rate and reviews, leave a comment. All that stuff does do more than you think. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, of course we weren't live for this one. And we try to go live for you guys as often as we can, but sometimes it doesn't work out. Leave a comment on the main page, even if we're on Rumble or wherever. Share it. Tell your friends about it. You know, we're growing all the time, and it's with people that, you know, help by supporting and support the Patreon. We just released a really off-topic, off-the-rails type of episode that I did with Billy and his girlfriend meeting me for the first time. I probably had a couple too many drinks, but that's fine. But it's a fun time. So there's stuff like that. There's lots of on Patreon that you can only get on there. There is literally a bunch of episodes that you cannot hear anywhere else but Patreon, and we keep it cheap. We only have 1 tier for now. So stuff like that does help. Buy merch. We don't make a lot of money off it, but now I'm gonna be just doing some more kind of heritage merch, some more like pushback stuff. So we'll see. So people seem to like it. So I'm like, if I can create this stuff for people to rep, obviously, and then Strange Brew shirts, we'd appreciate the support on that. So, and Aaron, shout out your stuff. We got stuff working on the go, going on the working.
Yeah, like we're in the middle to later end of our Dark Castle series or whatever we're calling that.
I just want to do the next one. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, there's a couple more I do want to sprinkle in there, I'll be honest.
Yeah, we're going to be doing House of Wax, so we've covered a lot of like House on a Hill.
There's another one as well that's not as well known, but I would definitely love to do a watch along. Maybe it's called The Hills Run Red. It's a slasher movie they done.
I've never seen it, I don't think. So that'd be nice.
I think you'll dig it. Like it's a fun one. It'd be a fun watch with like a couple of beers or something for us to do. I would like to do that at some point as well. But yeah, it's same as what Tom said, basically. I mean, we kind of don't exist unless people are interacting and like showing some sort of support, whether that be, you know, even if it's just commenting or supporting or liking and sharing, that's one thing. But obviously the goal would be to have people reach out and be able to, you know, support on Patreon or YouTube memberships or somewhere or something like that.
Yeah.
For us to be able to do this more full time and be able to live off it and actually probably at that stage release content like every day.
That'd be the point. That's what a lot of people that like shows that I know that live off it, they're releasing like an episode daily. And if we get to a point where that we could do that and we could that would be amazing. You know, we do have a lot of support. We do have a lot of listeners, but yeah, some of the people like you don't know how much that little thing could do. You sharing it, you telling a friend, all that stuff does a lot. So I appreciate everyone's support. I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's going to be spooky season, everybody, so get ready.
Uh-oh, retard alert.
All right, let's get going. All right, support the show. We love you. Stay strange, everybody out there. Number 5.